Living outside the United States holds a lot of appeal. It gives an exotic impression, and it seems like it's a never-ending vacation. But it doesn't matter where you go because the U.S. government still expects you to file tax returns and pay that lovely amount of taxes that you owe. Hey there, my name's Kenner French. I'm with VastSolutionsGroup.com. Sorry to bring you that news. For all our expat clients, we have many, many clients, mainly entrepreneurs, who come to us for, tax finance and artificial intelligence. They come to us to lower their taxes, and when we have to tell them, the government still has their tentacles, even if they're overseas, on them and in them, it doesn't matter. They still have to pay taxes. So I apologize if you're in that category. The United States might be the only country in the world that does this. By the way, you're the one who chose to live in the United States while you were here. Anyway, if you're a citizen of, let's say, Italy, but living and working in Argentina, Italy would not expect you to pay any taxes, believe it or not. You would have to pay them in Argentina, though. The U.S. would expect you to pay both. There's a lot of treaties around that, by the way. For your peace of mind and to keep you out of jail, you should become familiar with income tax rules that apply to you as a citizen of the United States living outside of the United States. I was just talking to a client just today, as an example. He was in Saudi Arabia, and he was hoping he wouldn't have to pay any taxes still, and we could mitigate those, by the way. It depends on the circumstances, legally, by the way. Anyway, income tax rules for U.S. citizens living abroad. Let's go over those. So if you're in this category, it's worth you knowing. No matter where you live, you have to file a tax return if you're a U.S. citizen. It's entirely possible that you won't owe a single penny of taxes because of treaties, etc., but still you must file an income tax return each year. What about, you're still subjected to U.S. tax laws. This includes income tax rates and the same credits and deductions. If you're a business owner or a W-2. By the way, if you're a W-2, some company, let's say you work for a big company, sometimes they will still do your tax return. They will do your tax returns. Let's say you're working overseas for whatever, Exxon, they'll sometimes have an outside vendor do your taxes for you, which is nice. Could save you some money. There are two ways to reduce your taxes owed to the United States. The United States has a reputation for double taxation, but in practice, that only applies above certain income limits. That's wise to know. So let's talk about foreign tax credit. This credit, it's intended to protect American citizens from paying taxes twice on the same amount of income. In essence, basically, you can deduct any income taxes you've paid in the foreign country from your taxes owed in the United States, although there's a limit. If you pay $12,000 in foreign taxes, you could reduce your U.S. tax bill by, $12,000. So it's, dollar for dollar. I think that's pretty simple, probably, right? Income exclusions, this is another option. So you can't claim both. The income exclusion allows you to reduce your gross income by up to around $100,000, depending on the circumstances. You can also subtract housing costs up to a maximum amount as well. So, let's say you earned $100,000 in a foreign country. Your taxable income would only be whatever. In that example, $2,400. If, let's say, the gross income was $97,600 as an example. It'd be even less if the housing cost credit after the housing cost credit, depending on the circumstances. You can call our office. We can give you even more specifics at 888-808-8278, or again, go to our website for some resources at www.vastsolutionsgroup.com. Again, www.vastsolutionsgroup.com. Now, that, by the way, it's worth noting, self-employed folks, they're not eligible, generally speaking, for the housing exclusion. I got to make note of that. Any gross income above and beyond these deductions that I just mentioned, they're likely going to be taxed in both countries. It also really depends on the country, by the way. Those with significant incomes, let's say you have a big income, you can expect to have a portion of your income double taxed, depending on the circumstance. So many wealthy and not so wealthy people are choosing to renounce their U.S. citizenship. We have a number of people who are doing that, especially, people who are traveling extensively. Maybe they're doing crypto and they don't want to live in just one spot. They might choose not to be a U.S. citizen. In many cases, it's due to the tax situation at the same time, though. I think about a decade ago, over 3,000 people did that in a single calendar year. Now, even if you don't owe taxes, the cost to have your income tax prepared in a foreign country can range anywhere from $3,000 to sometimes $10,000. It's a lot to pay. Really depends on the circumstances. Because if you're a foreign, if you're living in foreign lands, a lot of times it's a lot more complex tax return. So the laws, surrounding the reporting of foreign investments, bank accounts, there could be arduous. The banks themselves have to report your accounts by law. You also have to individually report each account holding at least $10,000 or more. Now, it's important to file your returns. I'm just going to tell you, if you're in the U.S., U.S. citizen, you have to file your returns. The penalty for failing to file while living abroad, it's hefty. It's $10,000 can go up even higher than that. This can be true even if you don't owe taxes, which is crazy. If you're under a certain income limit, your U.S. tax bill, who knows? It could be zero. It depends on the circumstances. But therefore the cost and hassle of filing returns, it is what it is. I got to remind you, one thing's for sure: you got to file your U.S. tax return, no matter where you reside. It just is what it is. Once again, my name is Kenneth French. I'm here with vastsolutionsgroup.com. I've been writing for many years. Sadly, I'm getting up there in age. I run vastsolutionsgroup.com. I run also an investment company that's a private investment company, vastholdingsgroup.com, and I speak all over the world. And we're here not only for your education, but also hopefully to help lower your taxes and to, who knows, make you retire with the lifestyle that you want. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this podcast. Hopefully it's been of some value. If you're one of those people living overseas, need some information about taxes, and who knows, tax mitigation, etc. At least now you know that, yes, you are required to still do your taxes, file your taxes if you're living overseas. Once again, Kenneth French, I'm out of here.